I get tired of that bullshit. Every time I go live, the computer freezes. So excuse me. You know, if anybody's coming in, sorry about what happened the first time. This is gonna be the second time because this got on my doggone nerves. For some odd reason, when I go live on my computer now, the camera just freezes. But if you can read the title, I'm dead serious when I say that. You're mad because he's competent and happy. And this is a problem for a lot of people. So we're going to get into it the real way, the right way. And I'm going to talk about a few different things on this one. First and foremost, I should have cut the AC on, but it's cool outside. A lot of people, especially with brothers, a lot of people are mad at brothers because that are competent and happy. You know, because if they're competent and happy, for some odd reason, you know, other people should be happier than them. You know, so if you're a brother and you got your stuff together and you happy and you doing the right things, for some people, that's a problem. And the reason it's a problem is because they're not happy and they're not competent. Or they feel like, you know, they should be happier than you and that they're more competent than you. So we got to get into this, right? We got this situation where you got people who feel like this way. You know, you can't, as a black man, be competent, be happy and competent until you make the people around you or who come across you happy and competent first. Come on, thanks, man. So, how dare you be happy and competent? Your mission is you're supposed to get yourself to a level or break your back so everybody around you can be happy and competent and you're just overworked. And if you're one of the type of people that can do both, how dare you, you know, actually be happy and competent and help other people and make their lives better and you still be happy and competent? This is a problem. Definitely big problem. Black Zeus, what's poppin'? So I'm like, you know, why is that? Why are you mad that a guy's happy? Because, you know, and the reason I say that is because some of y'all don't realize y'all like to see guys that are happy and competent, but you immediately look at them as, okay, all right, what's happening? You immediately look at brothers who are happy and competent as, oh, he's in a good space to do something for me. What he gonna do for me? Because he happy, he competent. Young Jay, what's popping? He got his stuff together. So he got his stuff together so he could do something for me now. That guy don't know you. What makes you think that because he's happy and competent, he's automatically, you know, you're automatically entitled to get a piece of that? Something wrong with you. You know? And then people get upset about that. They get offended. They really get offended. Like, you mean you're not going to make my life a whole lot better? Wait, what? Tafar, what's going on? You're like, wait, I'm supposed to, wait, I didn't even know you. So what's popping? Like, you do realize, and even if I know you, that doesn't mean I owe you happiness and I owe you my competence to make your life better. I mean, that's common sense. But looking at these guys as less than, you assume that, you know, he's a failure in life if he didn't do it for you. That's crazy. Marcus, thanks, fam. You know, and I got to get into a lot of these things because, you know, how can and I'm writing as I'm going, so y'all got to excuse me because I had it on the computer, but it messed up. Now, one of the issues with that is this. Nobody ever takes into consideration that maybe these guys have actually done enough for other people. And maybe it's their time to make themselves happy. You know, when everybody else gets to live their best life and do them, nobody questions that. Nobody says, oh, okay, you don't deserve to do you and live your best life. You don't deserve to be selfish. No, no, no. They don't say that to other people. But with us, you you just gonna do what you wanna do? You gonna just do it for yourself? Isn't that selfish? You're not gonna do anything for anybody else? How dare you? But you're a man. Yeah. And I'm gonna remain happy and content. And you know what makes me happy? Taking care of me. You know, keeping my health together. Not yours. Aren't you responsible for your own? You know, and then people don't realize this part of it. Because when you're happy and content, you get along with people. Young Peasy, man, I appreciate you, man. You know, I had to come on this one. Provoke thoughts. What's happening? Thank you, fam. You know, when you're happy, you're likable. People like being around you. You're a pleasure to be around. And as a black man, it's kind of funny when you're likable. You know, because if you're likable when you're happy, that's even funnier. Because we have this blanket stereotype that has a lot of negative things in it. But it's one that's not. I'm a quick story. So my coworker, he's a good friend of mine. We do the boxing podcast together. He's Mexican. He said I went to the movie with my son, and it's gonna sound messed up, but we went to see the Joker, and it was a dude in the back in a Batman costume. He was like, oh God. And he said, you look back, he said it was a brother. I was like, oh, we safe. Ain't no black man finna shoot up no theater dressed like the Batman. He here for fun. He said, but it was a white guy. Oh, we were just scared the whole movie. I was cracking up, man. I was like, man, you know, that's what it is. Cass was popping. But the thing about being, that ties into saying being likable. When we're likable, when we're happy, we're fun to be around, we're likable, people show us love, it's all good. You know what winds up happening? People get mad that people like us. Even other brothers who are hating. What they like him for? What he got that I ain't got? It's like, damn. Maybe he's just a good person spreading good vibes. Oh, Shay, what's happening, man? How you doing? G-Star, what's happening? Maybe he's just, you know, having a good time and just spreading good Yuletide, what is it? Yuletide year, whatever that shit is. Maybe he's just fun, right? But we can't be fun. Because when we're too likable, people gonna like us. Oh my God. You know, don't let other people like us. It's a sin, you know. I didn't even go see the Joker movie. I went to see Rambo, and I'm thinking I'm gonna go see Gemini Man. My coworkers keep telling me, go see Joker. I'm like, I know some of the. Sosa, I can tell you this right now. Eric, what's going on? Some of the stuff in the Joker movie came from some of the DC animations. And when I saw some of the previews and stuff, I knew which animations because I got them. So I was like, I've seen some of this already. You know, the girls hate to see me happy for. Yeah, I feel Young Peasy. That's what I'm going to get into. Because when you likable, people like, you know, you're a joy to be around. And when we're a joy to be around, then all of the negative stereotype goes away. And then it's just that stereotype of being a buck. You know what I'm saying? Oh, man, the girl's going to like him. And he got that baby arm in between his legs. You got to kill him. We got to kill him now. We can't do this. And it's like, seriously? You know, now we too likable. And sometimes that goes into the idea, you too nice. You too nice. I could like you, but you too nice. What the hell does that mean? Because I'll tell y'all from personal experience, you get the too nice mantra and you having a good time and you likable, the same woman that's going to tell you too nice in front of other women, the other women are going to like you and they're going to be like, see, when people think too nice, they think you're too nice means you might be soft or a pushover. And that could be true. That could be part of it. Or naive. And that could be part of it too. But the other part is you could be too nice because other people gravitate to you. You know, I'm gonna get to that, O'Shea. You know, oh Shadrach, what's popping? You know, when it gets to the point where you're too nice because other people like you, sometimes people don't like you being happy and content because when you're happy and content, you're likable, and other people like you from afar, and then they want to get closer. So people don't want you to be likable because the more people like you, the less people gonna like them. So that's why you mad. You're mad that these guys that men are happy and content and competent. I should say that. You know, what's up, little big Nate? Oh, this ain't just. I mean, this is gonna address women too, but this gonna be in general. Exactly, exactly. All right. Nobody wants to see brothers successful and happy. It's a problem. It's a problem. You know. Uh, Now the other thing that always happens. No, no, no. It's all good, O'Shea. You know what I'm saying? You making me skip my thoughts. That's why I've been writing shit down this whole time. If I skip it, I'm gonna blame you then. But but the other thing about that is when you when you become happy and you become content, your confidence changes. So when your confidence changes, that's a whole nother aspect that goes on. DC, what's popping, man? Everything's cool. So when your confidence changes, a whole nother thing changes. Because part of this, I was having a conversation with a good friend of mine, and she says, you look a whole lot different now than back in the day. But I really look the same. But what she was saying is, I guess whatever I've been through in life, I look more sure of myself and more confident, and that makes me look more attractive. And the irony of that was, I got it when we had the conversation. But people are mad when you're happy and content because they need to swagger jack you then. And this is what happens. And a lot of brothers know this. When you're at a good space and you're doing, and you just at a good space in your life, and you're at a good space mentally, physically, emotionally, people will come around you and kind of like be vampires of your good mental space. They'll be vampires of of the way you carry yourself. You know, uh oh, there'll be vampires of that. And I've been there. Um, the music I listen to, the foods I eat, the places that I go, the type of people that I meet. You know what I'm saying? The type of places that I meet people, the type of events that I decide to start frequenting, the hobbies that I pick up. People will come around, because I'm happy and they're like they want some of the happiness too. But I've also been in those situations where people want you to bring them into your happiness and your contentment and competence also, so they can make it their own. But sometimes what they do is they want to be a child and try to sabotage your reputation in the areas that you take them in. Because they mad to see you happy and competent. So now they need you to show me what you're doing to be so happy and competent. And then you go places, you know what? They like this, they like this. And you're looking at them like, so you wanted to help only to try to stab me in the back. This is what this is about. Okay, no problem. No problem. I am Alpha. What's popping, man? And what winds up happening is you get these situations where there's no way to say it nicely, but you start seeing people who weren't happy or competent before they met you mooch your happiness and your competence into their lives and then act like it never came from you. And me personally, I've been in those situations where I just like, okay, do you? You know what I'm saying? I got a million of them. It don't matter to me, you know. But that's the one thing. Art, like I'm a person that if I share some things with you, cool. LC, man, I don't know what happened, fam, but appreciate you for coming back. You know, um, but if I share it, cool. If you want to pervert it, I could bounce because I'm always gonna do new stuff and be into different things because I'm just inquisitive. And the things that worked for me before I met the person or was with the person, when I'm not around, I'm gonna still do the same things. They still make me happy. They still work. And personally, I've met too many people who, I can disappear from that equation, and then sometime later they want to come back. Like, say, man, what was that stuff you was doing again back in the day? I don't know you, dog. I don't know you. I know you, but I don't know you. You remember that? Nah, I ain't with you, player. I'm not with you, player. And people kind of forget about that part. Because, like I said, people are mad when you happy and competent. It is about to get interesting in a second. I'm gonna do this real quick. Uh, Now, one of the other things about that is I've noticed I've had because like I lounge like this. This is my lounging clothes. I just got off of work, so I'm chilling for a little bit. So when I work out, I got workout clothes. When I'm lounging, I got lounging clothes. When I go out, people look at me like, wait, like I'm one of those people. Donnell, what's popping, man? I'm one of those people. You know, I'll be chilling all week and then decide I'm gonna go out, and people give me that like, where you get them clothes from? Where you get? That's how you look when you, yeah. You think I just got lounging clothes and workout clothes in the closet? Chaos, man. How you doing? Salute to you. You know, TD, what's going on? And then what winds up happening is they start like, wait, what just happened? L.A.R, what's popping? And it's funny because now it's like, yo, mahogany, what's going on? And what winds up happening is you're happy, you're confident. People look at you and they're like, yo, that's how you carry yourself. I'm like, yeah. And then all of a sudden it's like, yo, I should probably hang out with you more. You know what I'm saying? And that happens like with me. That happens with women a lot. Like there's my friends know me one way, and then they see me out at night, and they be looking at me like, yo, Emma, what's popping up? Naima, hey sugar. It's like, yo, because I'm gonna tell you what part of what happens when people mad when you happy and competent. This is where part of it cracks me up. Jacqueline, how you doing? If you got to my level, prepare to exactly, and then exactly, Omega. And shout out to you. I didn't even say what's up to you, fam. What winds up happening? They mad because you competent. See, in our community in particular, even competent men get talked down to like they're little boys. Did you do that? Are you sure? I'm gonna check you to see if you did it again. Did you pay the light bill? What are you talking about? Like this idea that most of that brothers are always incompetent is funny because when brothers are competent, you'll notice that the people around them are highly incompetent or just regular incompetent, but they talk to them as if they're the dumb ones. You know, and this is part of what I mean by, inviting people into your life, and people want to know how you're moving the way you're moving. Because for some odd reason, if a brother's competent, oh my God, it's just you're an anomaly. And it's like, no, you're not an anomaly. It's just people are too accustomed to talking down to brothers. So, when you're happy and you're competent, the fun part about it is you're not taking people seriously because you got your shit together. It's like, okay, well, you're not. Oh, DJ Codeine, Mo City, A-Star. Okay. I ain't no Rockets. No Rockets, no Astros, no Texans though, fam. None of the teams, man. None of the teams. See all these people walking around with these Astros things. I hope the Yankees win and beat the brakes off of them. But don't tell them I said it. Don't tell them I said it. Mike, what's poppin'? And one of the hilarious things about it is when you're competent, people are looking at you like you gonna slip up. Like one day you gonna do something dumb and it's ha ha. I got you. I knew you was really stupid deep down. I knew you couldn't tie your shoelaces at 40 years old deep down. I knew you was stupid. And you're like, really? Really? It bothers you. It bothers you that a brother knows what he's doing. You know? And it's so crazy. Anime, what's popping? It's hilarious because now people want to, you know, pick at you, nitpick at you. And what cracks me up about the nitpicking is when you're happy and competent, you can leave everybody's life and still be happy and competent. But the people who know it all, when you leave their life, they won't continue to be happy and competent. Somehow they had it all together and they knew how stupid you was, but when you gone, you're doing just fine and they struggling. They just can't make good decisions. And you're sitting there like, what happened? I'm gonna tell you why you mad, son. I'm gonna tell you why you mad, son. Cause you stupid. You know, you stupid. You know, that's all it is. Because what winds up happening is people forget something. You know, at the end of the day, the proof is in the pudding, not how you feel about a person. You know, and this idea that you're gonna always be smarter than these happy guys and these competent guys. Obviously, they got something right if they're happy and competent. Obviously. Wait a minute, what's going on? You know, exactly. You know, if you make a mistake, if you fall off, when you're happy and competent, you feel like you could bounce back. Yeah, I fell off, but I could bounce back. You know, I hit a bump in the road, but I could bounce back because you're competent. You know what it's like to take a loss and bounce back. Other people have a big issue with that, and you wonder why. Oh man, because if you take a loss, people gonna feel like, oh, you losing forever. You can't win every aspect of life every day. That's not what it is. X, what's going on, fam? What's going on, Ashada? Oh yeah. You know, you gonna bounce back because you're a competent person. Now, how can I say this? One of the other issues about, you know, people doing that, Truth Seeker, man, what's going on? One of the other issues about being happy and competent and people are mad at you is, and I really hate to say this, but give me a second because I'm writing this down real quick. People are mad at the fact that you're confident. And your confidence may come from just how you feel about yourself as a human being, that you're happy with yourself. And your confidence as a man may come from the fact that that you've made good decisions in life. And people hate that confidence and that self-confidence. That because you're not supposed to have self-confidence. You're not supposed to feel good about yourself. You're supposed to always be looking at yourself in a negative way. You know, the world views you in a negative light, or people who are not black men view you in a negative light. So everybody's supposed to view you in a negative light. And you're supposed to view yourself that way. And when you don't view yourself that way, and you view yourself as very competent, and you good with that, people have an issue with that. And, you know, and that starts to me when we were in school. You know, exactly. Or he's being competent. You know, being a smart kid in school, if you're a brother, if you're a black male in particular, if you're smart in school, you know, you got people that make fun of you for being a nerd. Then you got teachers who don't want you to to look the smartest in a class. They want everybody else to look smarter than you. I grew up in one of those areas where the teachers used to F with our grades to make us look dumber, because and try to pass other people that were dumber than us. It's like, oh, okay. When you start making points, people want to immediately dismiss you. And then it comes a point where, when you're a kid, they usually crush your confidence as a child or as a teenager. And then, but if you wind up growing, if they don't do that by the time you're a teenager, now you're a grown man. And you're like, nah. And then you become able to communicate without not necessarily being emotional, but being able to be straight to the point and logical, to the point the things you say and do are irrefutable. And what winds up happening is people wind up making fools of themselves because they want to say you're incompetent and your confidence is just arrogance and you're unhappy, you're just playing games. Supermiss, what's going on? Compton, oh snap. Mike, what's happening? It's just playing games, and then they'll do whatever they want to do. And then what winds up happening is you wind up writing it in. And the fact that you're confident, because you're competent, burns people up. You know what you're talking about. It burns people up. And they get a real big mad attitude about it. They gotta go. Why? I just don't like them. This is when, they make me uncomfortable. There's just something about them, I just don't like it. They get something deep down. I know they got an evil seed in their heart somewhere, and it's gonna sprout up and explode. They're gonna murder the world. I just don't like them. Like, no, you don't like the fact that he's happy and he's competent and he's confident. That's what you don't like. You thought this guy was gonna be a doofus, and it's a problem. It's a problem. Because now he's competition. Last hired, first fired, right? He's competition. And he's formidable. Just formidable as I don't know what. It's like, nah, he ain't supposed to be that way. And, the reason I got to talk about that is because when we were younger, they tried to break us. See, all these people who have all these issues and self-esteem issues and this, that, and the third, I ain't gonna lie. As a black man, I kind of laugh at all of the other groups of people who have all of these issues. God damn you, O'Shea! Oh, no, you can't. I'm gonna actually take a shower and leave. But O'Shea, I'm gonna do a show with Solo on Sunday night. I'm off Monday. I'm getting off at 5 from now on. So the regular people we used to do like Tuesday and Thursday, as long as anything past 5, I got you. I got you. Just, I was supposed to hit you on Facebook about that too. So my bad. My bad. So these guys are happy and they're competent. And they tried to break these guys. So what winds up happening is, I'm gonna get to that too, Truth Seeker. What's gonna wind up happening is at the end of the day, people don't think about this. We look at other people's issues. I don't feel important. I don't feel empowered. I feel like the world is against me. You feel that way. You really don't have any factual information that backs that up. I feel like I'm being picked on. You feel like you're being picked on. You're not actually being picked on. Third degree, what's going on? Like you're not really being picked on. Your entitlements just spew out of your mouths, and we look at y'all like, what? Mr. E, what's popping? We look at y'all like, are you serious right now? Are you serious? You mad at me for being happy and competent, and when I was younger, y'all tried to break me. And the best you can say is you got bullied in the 5th grade, and that's why you got a mental issue at 35. I don't feel pretty because they told me I was ugly when I was a kid. Man, nobody got time for that. Matter of fact, watch this. Because every black man in the chat who's had a gun pulled on them by the police or a neighbor or a criminal, press 1. And we still happy. You know what I'm saying? Error. Hold on, let me see what you read. Uh-oh, uh-oh, uh-oh. Look, ones. Look at the ones. Shit, I should press one. Look at the ones. It's too dizzy. Dizzy, you right though. Look at the ones. How many times? Shit. I ain't just if that's been your experience. How many times? Is there any other group in America that we could say this on a normal basis? You know what I'm saying? What's up, Miss Eddie? Anybody. But we can't. But if we happy and competent, oh my God, it's an issue for you. You know that's an issue. I'm about to go somewhere, and we're gonna go left with this one. Mr. Imperfection, what's good? Now, they hate the fact. For vote, we might. You know what? We might. Don't. You know, don't give me no ideas for vote. Diesel, what's popping? You know, my bad. Derek, what's happening? Who I didn't say? Kevin, what's going on? Devon, my bad. Because I know people press one. Reese, what's happening? 44, what's popping? You know, Eric, the last, what was it, Hokage? Darius, David, you know what I'm saying? Because I ain't say what's up to y'all. So, let's get to this part. You mad because, well, what's popping? Because we happy and competent. Yo, in the bottle of rum. Now, let's be honest about this. Some of y'all are mad that guys are competent and happy in relationships too. See, we don't talk about that too much. Power button. When we hear about these complaints about guys being no good, dusty, lazy, you know what I'm saying? Just not stand up men altogether. Brothers can't say nothing about that. You're like, yeah, there's some dudes out there that's really just off the chain, just ridiculous, stupid, ignorant, all that. But you know who they never talk about? The guys who are competent and happy. You know why? Because they run from them guys like the plague. In relationships, they run from those guys. You know, oh my God, this guy's husband material. So it's going to force me to be wife material. I can't do this. Can't do it. Got to go. You know, I'd rather be with these busters. You know, I hate these. And then you see them, and they mad because they chose to be with guys who are incompetent and unhappy because they're happy being with somebody that they feel like they're more competent than and happier than. But when and the brothers that are happy and competent, it's like, yo, I can't deal with that. Black YouTube, what's going on? You pre-tricking, man. Oh, man. Oh, appreciate you. Paul, what's happening? So what winds up happening is this. So now you get in this mix where all of a sudden, you know, these guys are, the argument has went from we don't need you to, you know, we need protectors and providers to we don't want no 50-50 relationships. Well, the guys that you want to be protectors and providers are competent black men. And they're happy. Legend, what's going on? You miss about a good 34, 35 minutes. It ain't no big deal, fam. You know, you miss those guys. Not those guys. Now that you want something real, now you gotta be real. Oh my God. 3 king. I mean, condoms, vasectomy, it's up to you. Because I know my older cousin had a vasectomy. He got a reverse when he wanted to have more kids. So it's reversible if you want to have more kids. I can tell you that. Durham, what's popping? You know, and what winds up happening is this. So now, these guys who are competent and happy, they also have standards. Because when you're competent and you're happy, you have standards and boundaries. MOT, man, what's going on? When you competent and happy, you got standards. Hey, listen to what Taz say. You know, Taz cool with me. I ain't tripping on. He, I think my fantasy football team probably better than his. Y'all can tell him I said it. LeBron James is not greater than Michael Jordan. Y'all can tell him I said that too. Red Pill. What do you think of Errol Smith? Man, I got to talk about that on my boxing podcast, fam. He wound up not having no real breaks. So that was interesting. You know, we kind of low key like he had to be drunk to get in an accident and not get hurt. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what drunk people do. They just flip over and fly into the ocean and just get out the car. Oh shit, I'm good. You know, but I'm glad he all right. He might not ever be the same for boxing, but we shall see. Sir Charles, what's popping? My boxing podcast is on it's like Apple, iTunes, and all that. It's Cheap Seats Boxing Show. Shoot, Twitter, Stitch, Amazon, all that stuff. SoundCloud. Just type in the Cheap Seats Boxing Show. We've been doing that for like 5 years. But the modification didn't pop. Man, it don't matter, Marcus. I know how YouTube get down. Stay off the weed. Nah, Errol don't do weed. Errol's not a weed smoker. You know, Cheap Seats Boxing Show. Cheap Seats Boxing Show. You know, that's the name of it. But now the crazy part about it is these guys. Yeah, he ain't break nothing. So nothing. I hope his internal organs are good because he go critical for a reason. But part of this stuff I was talking about for a second, let me get back to that part about the relationship part. When these guys are happy, they got standards. They got standards to maintain their happiness. They got order to maintain their happiness. They're competent and it maintains their happiness. And people, get mad because they want to come into your life and disrupt your happiness and you're not going to let them. Crazy people want chaos and think that shit fun, and they wonder why their life sucks. And that's why you're mad at men when they are happy and competent, because their life doesn't suck. No matter what's going on, they're not making bad decisions that puts their life in peril. You know what I'm saying? What's up, Eugene? So this is part of the problem. This is the major part of the problem. Amir, what's happening? So, you're mad at guys who are competent and happy. And it's crazy to me because one of the other things that I gotta get into about that is, especially with brothers, when you thanks fam. Thank you. Afro, what's popping? One of the other things about being mad at brothers who are competent and happy is this. A lot of times happy people and competent people are accomplished. The vast majority of them. We're not supposed to be accomplished. I've been on those dates. I got an education. Okay, me too. I do this. Okay. I make this amount of money. Okay, me too. Ashley, what's going on? I have this, that, and the third. Oh, I got that too. And you see the kind of disdain for you having accomplishment. Thanks, legend. I appreciate it, man. I really do, fam. Like, because I don't, the fact that y'all even be hooking me up with cash, I'm humble. That's how I look at it. I'm very humble. And this is the problem, because you got accomplishments. People are upset at you. Just upset, like, because if you got accomplishments, that means you got discipline. That means you see things through to their finish. That means you pay attention to detail. That means you don't let BS just slip under the radar without getting addressed, or you could go over the top of that BS and still get the job done. And these accomplishments bother people. I mean, people get big mad. You doing what? You doing what? You doing this? You doing that? Well, this when you get that little thing you doing over there. You got your little job, you got your little house, you got your little car, you got your little degree, you got your little, you got a little bit of money in the bank account. Oh, okay. That's what this is about. Oh, but you got the same stuff and it's big stuff. Cause you ain't got a little house and a little car and a little degree and a little bit of money in the bank account. You actually killing it out in the world. You actually got the life everybody dreams of, huh? Ain't that a bit about a bitch? Ain't that ain't that a bitch? And it's like, okay, so you mad brothers are competent? You mad that brothers are happy? Mm. And to me, you know, one of the eerie issues of that, and I might be wrong when I say this, you don't feel like people seem like they don't feel like their role was as hard as yours. So how can you, if you have accomplished the same thing that they have, how? Like how? You had to do something probably with a higher degree of difficulty than them. So you're not supposed to, you know, actually be as accomplished. Because everybody knows the obstacles we face compared to everybody else. You know what I'm saying? Everybody knows that, we're not going to necessarily get a leg up or a hand out, or somebody's going to look out for us. That happens to some of us, but that's not the norm. We're not going to get mentors that actually put us in positions to do great things. We don't. That's not normal for us. Other people can talk about that. That's not something that we normally talk about. So the fact that you're accomplished kind of means you're probably like a one-man army, and a person who's got a lot of help, the last thing they want to run into is a person that may be viewed as a one-man army, because that means I'm better than you. But I ain't rubbing it in your face because I don't even care, because I'm happy and I'm competent. I'm just doing my thing. I'm not going to hate on you doing yours. Don't hate on me doing mine. You know? So this is a problem. And that's why I said people get mad when you're happy and competent. And, you know, and and part of that I gotta bring up is when you're happy and competent and people know that you're in a good space, mentally, physically, financially, they want you to lose it all. And that's interesting. This is why I'm really making this video, because when brothers are happy and competent, people want them to lose it. They want them to lose everything that made them happy and everything that made them competent. Whatever, all of their accomplishments, they want them to lose it. They want all of their good experiences that gave them confidence to come crack. They want it to look like it's like a house of cards, a house of lies that just fell down. And it's like, so you want me to lose it all? And part of this chivalry and risk, and to a degree, sometimes brothers don't take as many risks as they probably could or should to be better, because you had to do so much to get at an average place, and then you have to do so much more to get to above average place, and then you have to do so much more to get to an exceptional place. And everybody knows that, but they want you to make a decision that's just going to blow it all and send you back down to the beginning. And it's funny because people aren't happy for you being happy and competent. They're happy if you become unhappy and basically viewed as incompetent again. And that's hate on the highest level. And I really don't have a like for people like that. I really don't. Because those type of people will even ask you for help. And you may or may not help those people, but if you do, they're really going to try to get as much out of you and give as little out of you and try to drag you down. And hopefully they're up here and you're down here when it's over with. And they'll be happy that they benefited off of you. And they'll be happy at the fact that they drug you down also. And it's like, so you want a brother to lose it all. Maybe, put him in a situation where he has to, that he has to protect himself and go to jail and it causes him an issue. Lose it all. Put him in a situation where his reputation is damaged and he might lose it all. Put him in a situation where, and I think this is part of the reason why brothers who are have an aversion to marriage, because you work so hard to get at a good space, you don't want to bet all of your accomplishments and your wins on a woman who might just flip out and leave. So, and she can get a lot of stuff on the way out and you get nothing. And and I used to see them girls having those divorce parties. Like, you happy that you left your husband and you took stuff with you and he has nothing to show for it? Like, that's what you're happy about? Like, that's worth a party? Oh, okay. And too many guys have seen that, because you're happy that you want him to lose it. And if he don't lose it, then what? You know what I'm saying? I feel you, Omega. And I hate to say it, it's with guys too. Because some brothers don't want to see brothers win. Some brothers really don't want to see other brothers win. At all costs. If you win, that means I can't win, so let me cut you off at the knees. Like, what was one of the dudes? What was it? Was it Brandon Merriweather? He used to play in the NFL. He was a safety. He was known for like clipping people off at the knees. And he did, that's how he played dirty. But football, one of them games where, okay, somebody gonna hurt you for that. But that's one of that type of mentality where the only way I know how to be is dirty. But okay, if you dirty like that, even a person who's happy and competent can get dirty right back. And normally they can get way more dirty than a person who's just dirty all the time. Because you like, okay, I'm gonna show you how ugly we can get. And it's weird because you actually mad to the point that you want somebody to fail who's already succeeded. Which, in essence brings me to this next one. Some people do fall down. And what winds up making it worse is they get right back up and they do it again. And when a person fell off and become successful again, it's funny how America loves a comeback story, an underdog story, but not ours. Not our underdog story. See, when it's us, get over it. You know what I'm saying? Slavery was a long time ago. Get over it. Jim Crow was a long time ago. Get over it. Reconstruction, get over it. Let us never forget. They still making movies about Pearl Harbor. Ain't that a bitch? You don't want to get over it? Yeah, like, oh, really? Like, seriously? We're not really, come on now. But when guys fall off, and then bounce back, oh my God, you really made it something. You really got the guts. You really got intestinal fortitude. Like, you really are that disciplined. You really are that determined to be successful, that even if you become unsuccessful, you're going to bounce back and get it again. In any other person, that's a great quality, but in you, I hate you. It's like, really? You hate me. You detest me for having the ability to bounce back even if I succeeded and I failed? And I bounced back again? Like, you really hate that? You're mad at the fact when I said I'm competent, I meant I was competent. Because if I fall off, I'm competent enough or hardworking enough to bounce right back. Oh man, it went from the pecking order to bullying, yeah, to hating. You're right. You know, so if this is why a lot of brothers are happy when they're competent, because they know if the shit fall apart, they at least at the minimum, oh gee, what's going on, Jay, what's going on? They at least at the minimum have a work ethic to work themselves back into the position that they're in at the moment. They may not even know the direction that they're going in, but they know that they can work themselves into a good space again. And they're willing to. Even if they got cheated, even if they got gypped, even if they got played, even if it was for their own ignorance, even if they took a chance or a risk and it just didn't work out, they know what they're capable of doing. But you mad at these guys. You mad at these guys for this. All right then. All right, Three Kingdoms, I got you. You know, you said they don't hate, it's really admiration undercover. I feel you what you're saying, LC. But you don't hate somebody you admire. You don't want somebody to fail that you admire. That's a Judas type of admiration. You know, I love you so much. I want you to suffer. And then a lot of times you want people to suffer for you. Big Poke Dog, what's popping? It's like, are you serious right now? You're mad that these men are happy and confident. And I'm not saying, like, I'm talking about the demographic of us men who are. I'm not talking about the demographic who just talking. I'm talking about the ones who are, who actually do good things, who are actually accomplished, who actually, work hard. It's hard to be happy, competent, work hard, have your mind right, have your body in order, keep your finances together, and be disciplined for a long period of time. That shit ain't easy. It ain't. And some people fall off and bounce back because just of life's up and downs. You got to be healthy for that. You got to be able to go through all of the trials and tribulations of life, and sometimes just be lucky that the things that happened in your past don't happen again. But people mad, like you mad that these guys are happy and competent. You're mad at it, like literally mad, and you're mad that these guys won't do it for you. If they bounce back, but you didn't bounce back, so you're mad at them because he ain't gonna bounce back and make you and help you bounce back too. That's crazy. Which for me, I'm like, that's stupid. And the other reason I gotta say this is because you want these guys in your life. I feel you on that, Roger Report, and thanks, fam. Now the irony is, you're mad when these guys are happy and competent. You want to benefit off of them being happy and competent, but you really don't want them in your life because they're happy and competent. But here's the problem. Dante, what's popping? You hate them when they gone too. Informative, what's going on? When they're gone, you have an issue with them, which is interesting to me. And I'm gonna tell you why I say that's interesting. Because the same guys that you don't want to be happy and competent, and you could, you ain't that, you alright. When they gone, all of a sudden, the happy and competent guys are the ones that abandon you. You didn't want those guys around, but they abandoned you. The happy and competent guys are the ones that you want to come and help you rebuild your life. But you didn't want them around when they were building their own, and you didn't really want them around when they were helping you rebuild yours. But now that they decided to, you know what? Part of me being happy and competent is me keeping my peace of mind. So since I'm not wanted or welcome, I'm gonna just do me. You know, and they've been down that road of being with certain people. Like a lot of times, the guys that are happy and competent have been around the people who are unhappy and they don't want them there. Lando was popping. Bobby, what's going on? It's like they've been around. So they've actually put in the work. They've actually put in a lot of time with people who who maybe didn't see the good in them, who maybe didn't see the intelligence in them, who maybe didn't see, you know, their positivity as a good trait. But now that they're gone, all of a sudden you mad at them because they're gone and now they owe you. What's happening, Emmanuel? You know, and then everybody's trying to have this uh, 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 um, gambler mentality. Now you trying to hit a quick lick to turn it all around because you mad that the competent and happy people ain't coming around no more because they were your quick lick. They were the people who that was your 7 and 11. You know, that was your blackjack. That was your full house and poker, or your straight flush. They were consistently good. They were consistently happy. They were consistently competent. And it brought and you got trickle down happiness and competence from them. But then you didn't want them because you just wanted what you got from them. And now that they're gone, now you hate them. But you never asked this question. Have you ever considered you might be mad at them for being happy and competent, but you never brought anything to their lives, You never made their lives happier. You never were so competent that you added to their life. They only added to yours. You know, they only added to yours. James, what's happening? You know, they only added to yours. And this is part of the reason why you mad at these people, because deep down you know you're mad at these happy people, these happy men and these competent men, because they always added to your life and they cut you off. But you know good and hell well you haven't added to theirs. You know, what have you and all the men who know this, when you got to a good space, you happy, you know what you're doing. When you look at all the people in your life, exactly. I said that earlier, Big Pope. You know, when you look at all the people in your life that have a problem with you, that even though you've been good to them, most of them, the vast majority of them, if not all of them, have never brought anything positive into your life. They'll tell you, you know, their presence was we was supposed to give you happiness and was supposed to help you. They'll tell you, I remember that time I gave you some Kool-Aid in the summer when it was 100 degrees. You know, I was looking out for you. I'm like, really? Really? Oh, okay. And then, because happy people and competent people have this in common. You accept your life for what it is, where you at. You're content. Even if you want better, you're still content. You know what that means? When you're happy, you're competent, and you're content, you can accept people for who they are too. And if you're my family or friend and I know you are selfish and self-centered and self-serving, even if I'm around you, I'm going to be still happy, competent, and content. But I'm going to be like, look, I know you're going to be on some bullshit, so I can accept that. And no, I'm not. No, I'm not. This time is different. This time I promise you. This time I promise you it's not going to be the same. Yes, it is. Because you ain't never changed. Because the reason I can say that is because I wasn't always happy. I wasn't always completely competent. and I wasn't always content. It's a process. And anybody who's happy and competent knows it's a process. And we can see anybody a mile away who doesn't want to commit to the process. They just want to show up and get everything. Jill was popping. They just want to get everything. G channel, my bad, was popping, man. So now they want to get everything. Jude, I ain't gonna be on here much longer. I can tell you that now, cause I'm gonna get ready to go. Matter of fact, I'm gonna see if I hit up O'Shea up and see if we just do a pill anyways. You know, I got time. Um, so ultimately, they can show up and get these hands. You know, that's part of the thing. But that's what winds up happening. It's like, okay, so this is what we doing. I can accept that you're gonna be selfish and self-serving, and that's your angle, and I can accept I ain't doing that no more. You just gonna have to be mad, big mad, you know. And a lot of times people don't realize, you know, a person can be rooted in facts. Like, I did this for you, I did this for you, I did that. I was there when this happened, I was there when that happened. I was down for this, I was down for this. Remember, I helped you with this, I helped your kids with this, I helped the family with that. I did this, this, and that. And then they say, you know, you start to be mean and uppity because you can run down everything you've done, how you've been a blessing to their lives. And then you say, okay, so have you matched this work that I put in with you and y'all? No, you haven't. So why the hell am I gonna keep doing it? Okay, shit. Jason about to go on? What time is it? Shit, well, I'm gonna get out of here then. Sir Charles, join Jason. You know, I'm gonna hit up O'Shea to see if he live and want to do it now. And y'all have a great one, because I ain't getting in the way of people's movements. So appreciate y'all for coming. I hope y'all enjoy the live. We out.